Jason's gear too. I just got this Rode microphone right here because I just am trying to improve the audio quality, because when I was on Jason's stream last time, and man, my audio quality was just terrible. So I don't know if this is any better or not. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, Jason. Is it any better?
Well, Steve said it's fixed on my end, but Danny isn't showing in the video.
Really? I think it's it's the Jason Vong show, guys. I think that's what we're gonna call it. That's what we're gonna call it.
Can you guys still hear us? Oh, there's Danny. Danny's right there. What are you guys talking about? Danny sounds good. Okay, everybody can hear us.
Yeah. Unless the whole auto switch isn't working, I don't know.
Rainer says, Jason, do you have AirPods? That way you don't need to hold your phone. I have AirPods. Look, I have this headphones right here that has the little 3.5 jack right here. I can't even plug that in because my iPhone does not have the headphone jack, so I can't even use that. So we're gonna have a fun chat like this.
Oh man, the video's not switching. I knew it.
No, maybe I did. The video switched
because I was switching it manually. Maybe I got to activate something. Oh man.
There you are. It's switching. It's switching.
Okay, I won't touch anything, so we'll see. Hopefully it does switch. Oh, I do see it switching now. Okay.
Cool. All right. So, how's everybody doing? Yep. Talon. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for all this trouble.
I don't blame you, Talon.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
All right, Jason. So yeah, I recently got the Rode video mic USB. It's this thing here. I also got the stand that goes with it, but I didn't have time to get it installed to get this show started. But I went ahead and picked that up. So hopefully the audio quality will be better. And the whole thing with the video today. So I got back, right? I actually left my little monopod. There's like a little tripod that I use to put my camera on. I totally forgot it. And I was actually trying to mount my Mark IV onto that. I had like a little tripod that I had mounted on. It was too weak. And I picked it up and I dropped my Mark IV right onto the floor.
Oh, man.
So that just happened like 15 minutes ago. So this just smashed right into the ground. So I'm not too happy about that right now, but I think
today
it's fine.
Today is not your day, man.
It's not my day. It's just
today is not your day.
So that's me on my end. Oh, and I got one more thing. Small Rig doesn't sponsor this or anything like that, but they did reach out to me a while back, and I own the A6000, the Alpha 6300, and the A6500 cages. And they actually contacted me and they said if there's anything that they want that I wanted to look at or even review. So they sent over a Small Rig cage for my A7R2. So thank you, Small Rig, for doing that, because it did come in handy a little bit recently. So that's what's as far as new gear on my end. Jason, you can go ahead and take the floor next.
Awesome. All right. So everybody, let us know what new gear you have as well. Let us know in the chat. So I'm kind of jealous that you got a Small Rig cage for A7R2, because okay, I've been using my Ninja Flame for about a couple of weeks now, and I'm just like, man, I kind of need a cage, because I'm just been mounting the monitor on top of my camera, which my camera's being used right now. I can't really demonstrate, but kind of wish I had a cage and everything. It would have made it much easier. But yeah, so the new piece of gear that I got is the Elgato card, which for whatever reason was having a bit of an issue, but I finally got it to work. I can't show you the actual device, but I have it right here, this box right here, the Elgato capture card. So I've successfully turned my Sony Alpha A7R2 into a webcam. Now let's hope all the fail has passed already, because I'm hoping the battery on my A7R2 will last for the rest of the show, because if you see a black feet later, you know what happened. Although tiny batteries has failed me.
Man, I hope your camera doesn't overheat first.
I'm pretty sure my A7R2 will be fine. It probably won't overheat. It's not even recording right now, and I think it has to do with, you know, if it starts recording, when it starts needing to write that 4K file into your SD card. I think that's what triggers it to overheat or heat up just a little bit.
I don't know, Jason. I've had it overheat. It was just on. It wasn't doing a single thing. It wasn't doing a single thing, man. It was just on.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
We'll see for sure. We already know the title to this video already, so.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It should be if all things could go wrong, it went wrong.
It went wrong today. It's okay. We're only human.
All right. So
cool.
Again, jump into the chat.
Let's jump into the chat. We got some people.
We got James Prodigy TV. Okay, so he says this, I'm looking for a camera for mainly photo and some video. I can't decide between the 5D Mark IV and the A7R2. Could you please help me? I do videos sometimes when I want to make travel videos. I think he did a follow-up statement. And he has a Canon T6i, and I'm looking to go full frame, and I shoot mainly portraits and not really a general budget.
Well,
Jason, what are your thoughts?
Well, Danny, you might be the best person to answer this because you use both systems. In my opinion, I think if you're only doing some videos, I think you can probably just stick with the 5D Mark IV. I think you have, I'm not sure what your lens situation is right now, but I think, you know, you can't go wrong going with the 5D Mark IV. I mean, you can also switch to the A7R2 or not, but it just really depends, you know, if you like the A7R2, I think if you can rent it out, try it out. But if you're doing mainly just portraits, I think you can also benefit from the A7R2's 42 megapixels as well. So I think if you are looking to make a switch or stay the same system, you're not going to have a wrong choice. You're not going to make a wrong decision, I mean.
Matt Fan, can't hear Jason, speaker issue. Actually, don't know why I said that. Hopefully they can still hear you. I hope that's not a problem.
No, they're saying you can't hear me.
Oh, got it.
That's why we're on the phone right now, I think.
Yeah. If you're wondering, thanks for follow up on there. It looks like James is on Canon, so he must have some Canon lenses. You know what? If you're doing mainly portraits, man, I think going the maybe the A7R2 route. That's what I'm thinking. If you're really, because he just says mainly portraits, and if you're looking at between the 5D Mark IV and the A7R2, I think the A7R2 is going to be a much better option. Although lens choices are going to be a bit pricey, but some lens options are starting to pop up more on Sony's end. You've got the more affordable 85, which is not out yet. Soon it will be. So definitely worth considering. I think it's definitely cheaper to go with the Canon, the whole ecosystem. But if you want to step into A7R2 territory, it's not a bad option either. All right. Alan Andrews, new gear, Alpha 6500, small
nice.
with handle. Yep.
Nice.
The Zhiyun crane, the Sony 10-18, and the Sony 35 1.8. That, I'm guessing you just got it, Jason.
Just got it. You're ready to make videos with that, man.
It's a really awesome way to start. James says, I don't necessarily like the look of the Sony with portraits, and that's the only thing holding me back because I really want to go to Sony.
Wait, hold on. Let me read that one more time. I just don't necessarily like the look of the Sony with the portraits. Well, I mean, if you're primarily shooting portraiture and you like that Canon look, you know, because a lot of people say Canon handles skin tone really well. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, stick with the Canon, go with the 5D Mark IV.
Say that just in general, my out of the box, the Canon just has a better look in terms of skin tone. But I think if you just get some practice, maybe with a little bit of processing, I think you can still work around it. But That's something you're going to have to make an individual choice on.
Steve says, Jason, can you hit the menu button on your A7R2 right now and see if the menu displays on the screen? So no, because I have it set up a little bit differently. So it's only feeding me back the video. It's not feeding me the menu. I didn't change it so that it would show the menu. So I'm not sure. I can't do it right now because if I do it right now, it's gonna make it really wonky. I actually tried that earlier, and then like it would just the screen would just freeze. So I'm not too quite sure. I'm not gonna risk it just yet.
Oh, really?
Not today. Not today. Not especially not on the live chat today. But I will try it off the stream later.
All right. Are we ready to jump into some news?
Let's jump into some news, man.
First of all, Jason has passed 6,000 subscribers. That's awesome. So everyone out there that's been following Jason, that guy definitely deserves it.
Thank you so much.
And I know we put down, and again, it's a weekly podcast. We're definitely going to have to work out the issues. And we're definitely on Jason's channel next week, where I'm sure we won't have any of these problems.
This is why we need to do a pre-show.
At all. So we will be, again, live show next week on Jason's channel.
Cool.
All right, on the run. What's that?
I was like, man, do you think we need a name for this podcast? Yeah. Are we just gonna call it a Monday Live?
We really do need one. Maybe the viewers can suggest something, but I'm lost for words right now. I can't really.
Anybody who can think of a clever name for this Monday podcast, please let us know, and we'll credit you forever in the description box below.
Jason said that.
Maybe at least when I stream, and you'll be credited.
We'll see. All right, Jason, on our rundown, we got some news, and Alan says Monday Night Live.
Monday Night Live, and he still wants to see my lighting setup. I want to show you, except I can't really turn the camera around. It's just fixed over there on the other side. But I will do a lighting setup. Probably, I think Matthew Workman from Cinematography Database is going to make fun of me once he sees my setup. It's very unconventional and all over the place.
All right, Jason, moving on to the news right now. So I guess we're going to jump onto that at this moment.
Cool.
You wrote down Sony releasing a digital filter app. And I think it was brought up last week, I think. Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was brought up by Steve. So, Steve, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to talk about it last week. But I think literally that news just came out right when we were ending the chat.
So have you gotten that app yet, Jason?
No, I haven't bought a single Sony app yet. But I think Steve has bought it, I think, and he tried it out. Steve, let us know in the chat below how it has been working for you. How about you, Danny? Did you get it?
No, I haven't. But I mean, I took a look at some of the information on there. Man, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I think it's actually really cool. I mean, the idea of being able to change the exposure, like a graduated filter almost, if you're doing landscapes. I think the issue is just that we're not doing I don't shoot landscapes too often. So do you know if there'd be a reason for you to use it without other than landscapes that you'd find a use for it?
Me, not so much. I also don't do too much landscape. So this is pretty new to us. But thank you, Steve, for bringing it up. I mean, like, it's great that, I don't know, if you watch the video, I just feel like the app itself, it's a very powerful tool. I mean, I had no idea that Sony could do that, where you're just literally just like picking stuff picking one part of the photo with the -3 EV or whatever, and then the middle part of the photo, the bottom half of the photo. I mean, this is all done on camera, so it's pretty ridiculous. So I'm assuming if you can take the 42 megapixels JPEG that the A7R can produce and actually like stitch together a photo like what you're showing right now on the screen, that's pretty powerful, man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome, and it just showing that there's still things that you can do with these cameras, even through software. So I wonder if it just takes one photo or it takes multiple.
I think it might have to do with multiple photos. So Steve says he's got it for a discount since he already had the Sky HDR app. Incredibly useful here in Marbella, and it's sunny 98% of the time. But I used it, works in RAW. Actually, that's very awesome to know. And it worked great. He left the NDs at home.
That is really nice.
Awesome.
I don't know. I guess if I'm ever out and I move into landscape, I sometimes I wonder if photography is kind of a transitional phase. You start at one type of photography, and then over time you change and transition to something else. Maybe you go into wildlife, and then you go into landscapes. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Jason?
maybe I'm probably not the best person to answer this, but I think at some point you'll just, it's a journey. You kind of like figure out what you would like to shoot more. I personally have like gone through different stages of like portraitures, like how I like to shoot a certain portrait or not. So that's something that I'm still figuring out. So I think it's still like it's a journey. I mean, like, I don't think you'll deviate too far away from what you started, but like you probably wouldn't be a I don't know. We probably wouldn't be landscapes. I mean, you would probably most likely transition to wildlife, right? I don't know.
It's something that's interesting.
It's similar to, I don't want to say similar to sports, but I think it's up. I think it's up there, with the lenses and the type of work.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen some birds, and I usually will go and shoot those birds while nothing's going on.
Did I tell you I tried doing bird photography in Japan because I was just like, man, I really need to try out the A6500 tracking, and my God, was that hard. I was just like, man, how do people do this? How do you shoot birds?
Let's see the chat real quick while we're at it. Dave Sincere, man, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome, Dave. Thanks for joining us again,
man. I forgot AO and JO who that is, Jason.
That's Adrian. Adrian Outlaw. What's up, man?
Adrian says basically HDR. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Dave Sincere says photography is about growth, and the journey is the destination. I agree with that kind of concept. It's about growing and improving. Massmole. Massmole's back. Hi, guys.
Massmole, welcome back.
These unique usernames, you don't forget them.
Nope.
MavFan1 says, oh, wait, new title, Sound Advice with Jason Gaspon.
I'm out.
Danny,
I'm out. That's the title right there. That's our winner. That's our winner right there. All right, two guys on the phone. Two guys on the phone podcast.
Jeez, I bet you the people coming in right now are like, "What is going on?"
It's like it's like that thing. People come in. People who didn't see the fail in the beginning, they just come in. They're like, "Why are these guys holding their phones?" And then they keep watching until we finally review why we're holding the phones. It's trying to like keep their attention, keep them listening. You know what I mean?
Or they think we're just crazy.
We're just crazy.
Massimo, see that shoot and images of the Cuban tobacco farmer that Jason Lanier just posted? So awesome. He just sold me on the 100 STF. Perfect for bright outdoor portraiture without using ND filters.
Nice.
Oh, I haven't seen that image, but that's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of it that way. All right, Jason, you want to jump back? We jump back to the news?
Let's go for it.
All right. We have on our list, the next thing on our topic is, do I have that? Can I pull that up right now?
Yeah, I think someone mentioned it in the chat too. So we're gonna jump into it right now.
Which one are we talking? I'm looking at the Sony sensor thing, unless we're gonna jump to something else.
Yep, there we go. No, someone in the chat brought it up, so I saw it. So we're gonna address it right now. Though I probably don't have much to say about this.
Me too, but we'll cover it.
Nikon news.
I don't know. I don't even know if everyone can actually see my screen right now. I don't know if that's just me or not.
I don't know. Well, they get to see this pretty face right here, so.
There you go. I think that's all they need to see, really. Screen sharing and presenting to everyone. All right.
So, yeah.
You can see it?
Well, there you go. I can see it now.
Okay. So it looks like there was an interview again. They love interviewing Sony, which is great. That the best Sony sensors will remain in-house and not outsourced to Nikon. Not to Nikon. Your thoughts on that, Jason? Thoughts on Sony sensors?
I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, I probably don't have too much to comment on about this, but it does make sense. I mean, like, you know, Sony and Nikon are pretty much competitors, so they probably won't outsource their best sensor to them. Are they saying? I think they're saying they're not gonna outsource their best sensor, right? It's just they'll still have their partnership with Nikon or something.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting was that you remember when the Nikon D800 came out, right? Way back when.
Sure.
And it had the 36 megapixels, and everyone was like clamoring for it. And I think was it a Sony sensor or a Toshiba sensor? I'm thinking it was I could have sworn it was either a Sony sensor. I think it was Sony, because Sony eventually got this 36 megapixel sensor on their A7R, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they eventually eventually put it on there. And I guess the thing that I was really interested in with this particular article was the fact that Sony was finally, we know for a fact that Sony's not going to give their better sensors over to Nikon to produce their cameras first. They're going to definitely put their better sensor and tech into their cameras initially before giving them out to any other manufacturers. But no one else has a 42 megapixel sensor.
Nope.
So that makes me wonder, what's Nikon going to do? So I wonder if Nikon's going to eventually get the 42 megapixel sensor. That's what I'm thinking.
People, let us know.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Alan Andrews will probably be able to comment with his Nikon expertise.
All right, let's jump back to the chat while we're at it.
Cool.
Dave Sincere says, you guys are whispering sweet nothings to each other during the live casts.
Oh, yes. Yes, we are.
All the time. All the time. Nick Lawrence says, my new gear, I purchased a Lowell Pro Light kit today.
Awesome.
I'm guessing that's for video, right?
I was just going to ask you the same thing. Nick Lawrence, let us know, what kind of light is that? Video light or photography light?
Yeah. Sean Flores, excuse me. What lens should I get next if I have the Sigma 30 1.4? I'm looking for a multi-purpose lens and a wide angle for vlogging. Jason, you want to tackle that? I'm looking for a multi-purpose lens.
I mean, so vlogging wise, a lot of people have been choosing the 10-18 f4. So that's your best wide angle option for vlogging. I personally use a 16-70, which is probably not wide enough, but it does the job. I don't have the 10-18 myself. So for vlogging, yeah, I'd probably just use my 16-70. But yeah, go for the 10-18 if you want to do vlogging. I mean, you can also zoom with that lens. So
yeah, Sean, I think the 10-18 is good, but if you're looking for that one lens, I think the 16-70 might be okay. You will have trouble if you're doing like a selfie video type style. But I think it kind of hits the wide angle slightly, and it's slightly multi-purpose. I don't know. That's what I think of that lens, Jason. Like it's just enough.
Which one? The 16 to 7?
1670.
I love that lens, man. I was just playing with it today.
I just don't give that lens enough love.
You're more of a fan of the 10. I mean, the 18 to 105, right?
Yeah, if I was gonna use it, I'd go with the 18 to 105.
Okay. It's just
if
it was 16 to 105, that'd be a little different.
That would be an interesting one, but maybe we probably lose that for it. Let's see. Dave Sincere says, when you get to 24 megapixels, does it really matter anymore, Jason? Does it really matter anymore?
I don't know. It's definitely a hard question to answer. I mean, like, I personally have shot from what was the T3i, like what, 16 megapixel?
No, T3i was 18 megapixels.
18 megapixels. So I went from 18 megapixels to 42 megapixels, and holy crap, I had a lot to work with. So I'm very happy with that. Like, it's hard for me to go back and shoot like anything below the A6500 can offer at the 24, right? So I mean, like, just having that extra room just to work with cropping or doing any sort of blemish control. I mean, like the 42 megapixels. Oh my gosh, I'm super happy with that.
Yeah, for me, 24 is kind of a sweet spot. I think if the A9 or whatever that magical unicorn camera Sony releases is 24 megapixels, but does a lot of great things in there, I'd be pretty happy with 24. 42 is kind of overkill. But it's still great to have that resolution anyway. If you wanted it, it looks really good. But specific people need more megapixels. They know who they typically are. So that's the way I would look at it. I'm DeBrown. Hey man, how's it going? Have you tried a Sigma MC11 on any of the A6000 cameras with any Canon lenses? I tried with my Canon 70-200 2.8 IS and seems to work, but images and video is not as clear as I would want.
Well, we shot with the 6500 with the MC11 adapter. With the 70-200, it's the version 2. I mean, the autofocus doesn't work that well, but for manual stuff, yeah, it's fine. I mean, we're still getting really sharp images and sharp images and sharp videos. So if you're talking about the autofocus, it's just not going to work well with the MC11 adapter. Yeah.
I'm DeBrown. My thoughts on that is I've used like the 70-200 2.8 IS Mark II with like the Alpha 6300 or something like that, and the A7R2. It'll hit focus, especially on static subjects. But like I said before, it's really tough for anything moving. And for video, if it's a non-Sigma, one of their newer Sigma series lenses, it's just not going to work with autofocus, continuous autofocus. You'll definitely have to manually focus those lenses.
Yeah, make sure the 70-200 you're using maybe is version 2 as well, because I don't think you specify as version 2 or version 1. Because I know it's finicky with the Metabones. So I had experience with the Metabones and the 70-200 version 2. It worked fine. I was able to shoot concerts with it. It was able to grab focus. I mean, it would miss focus a handful of times, but for the most part, it worked pretty well. But I just had to get the 70-200 G Master. Okay, yeah, he says version 1. So yeah, so it's the year of when the lens is built. Because I think if you're using any lenses prior to 2008 or something like that, I forgot what the specific year was, but if any lenses were made after that, they should work really well with adapters, or well enough. But anything before 2008 or whatever the year is, yeah, it's a crapshoot from there.
Was that through Metabones or something that Sigma had specified?
That's Metabones. That's what Metabones has specified, but I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing with the MC11 adapter. But then again, the MC11 adapter, they have specified that you should be using compatible Sigma lenses to begin with for optimal performance.
Yeah. All right. Jay Sanson says best budget wide angle. I don't think Sony and wide budget go well, unfortunately.
Well, there is the so we're talking full frame. There is the 14 2.8 from Sam Yang / Rockinon.
Okay.
That's one option right there. But in terms of sharpness and anything like that, we're probably not too sure.
Yeah, but the best budget wide angle. I don't know if he's talking about APS-C or not, or full frame. But if it was APS-C, we always just say 10 to 18. 10 to 18. Right now, that's just a general purpose wide angle.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll do one more question, and then we'll jump to the news again. Dave Sincere, hey man, another question. When you guys think about the gear you've purchased, what stands out the most when you look back? What gear are you most proud of?
Damn, that's a good question. Dave Sincere won best questions of the award. Best questions.
Man, is it really, for me, the way I think about it right now is it really the gear, or rather the gear that enabled me to take my photography to another step? For me personally,
damn, this just got deep.
It's so, I would say, I think the biggest game-changing piece of gear that I had in terms of my photography, especially shooting sports, was the Sigma 120-300 that I got, because I don't know. I use it so much, that lens. I use it all the time. So for me, I guess in my mind, that Sigma 120-300 is the lens that got me a lot of great action shots for sports that I do. Mm-hmm. But I'm still very fond of my 5D Mark III as far as the camera itself, because it opened up some job opportunities for me by using the 5D Mark III, and I used the hell out of my 5D Mark III. So I guess that's kind of how I would look at it. Jason, hopefully I gave you enough time to stall.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a really, really hard question to answer. I mean, full things, except I just don't have enough to back things up. That's a tough part for me. But I mean, for sure, I think the gear that I'm most proud of that I've got is the A7R2. I mean, that's what really just sparked me to start my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel because I got the A7R2. I never thought to make videos about cameras. I never expect myself to make camera reviews. So it was because the A7R2. I mean, not a lot of people were talking about it last year. It wasn't a popular camera at that time. Not as popular as the A7S2, but a lot of people were using Canon, Panasonic GH4. So there's too much of that kind of video out there already. So when I got the A7R2, I just want to share my experience about it. And then I made my user experience review video, and holy crap, that has 50,000 reviews. So, I got to owe it to my trusty A7R2 for bringing me here today. It's brought me where I am today, here in this live chat.
Dang. Dave, man, you got them deep questions, man.
You got deep questions, man. I'm about to tear
honestly,
up right
that in of itself could be a whole topic, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump back into the news. There is some very interesting lenses, and I don't think Jason has this lens, and I don't have any of these lenses. It's the Sigma. I think they're out for pre-ordered already, but the Sigma 135 f1.8 that is there. But there's also a speculation of an announcement for a Botis 135 f2.8. Jason, do you find yourself needing to use a 135?
Probably not, just because I already have the 70-200 f2.8 G Master. Yeah, but I do have some stuff to talk about. What about you? You see yourself picking up any of these lenses right here?
For me personally, I wouldn't touch the Botis 135 f2.8 because of the fact that I do have the 70-200.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sigma 135 1.8 definitely piques my interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's it seems like a really great prime lens for me personally, indoor sports. And also, if I do pursue more portrait photography, I really like that. I really want to try out that 135 range. So my only concern is the speed, because it's to consider an art lens, and typically art lenses aren't really designed for fast, really extreme fast autofocusing. So if I ever do pick up the 135 f1.8, I'm definitely going to be interested in trying it out in its autofocusing capability for something like maybe volleyball or basketball. Those type of sports is what I would approach with the 135 f1.8. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just got a few things to add, because I know, a lot of people are just kind of ripping on the Zeiss Batis 135. I mean, like, they haven't really fully announced that it's either an f2 or an f2.8 yet, but I think there's a lot of proof or whatever is pointing that the lens will be an f2.8. But I think if we can look at these two lenses for different purposes, I think it would answer the question of which one it is to buy for you. So like you brought up that the 135 will be great for portrait work. I personally myself think the Batis 135 f2.8 will be great for videos. Maybe,
oh wow,
I'm guessing it's gonna be severely priced under the 70-200. 70-200 G Master is what, $2,600?
Yeah.
This one, I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but I don't think it's gonna come anywhere near that. So if you're a wedding videographer or somebody who shoots event stuff, I mean, I can see this prime lens 135 being a great telephoto option, and it's 2.8. So it's honestly, I mean, when I'm shooting video, I don't, even if I have the 85mm 1.4, I don't shoot f1.4 too often, because I have to always just continuously focus back and forth, So I think having it at 2.8 is a nice sweet spot for videos for sure.
Oh man, that's honestly a really interesting perspective, because I would avoid a one. I mean, I would feel very trapped with the 135. I know it would keep your bag a lot lighter, your gear, especially if you're going out shooting.
That's it.
But what really, where would you find that? Would that be during the ceremony section? Like, where would you use that? Yeah, where would you use it?
Probably the ceremony, even the reception. So those are like the only two times I would even bother taking out my 70-200. So if I didn't have the 70-200, that 135, I would probably pick up the 135 2.8 as my telephoto option for ceremony and reception.
And another follow-up question: when you were shooting when you're doing a lot of the wedding shoots that you're doing, did you ever leave any of the Sony cameras unattended to autofocus on their own, or were they manually focused and locked on, and they had a set purpose, like they weren't just fiddling around?
Yeah, so definitely I would always, if I'm not touching the camera, I'm not near it at all, I would set manual focus on that. Because the thing is, like, sometimes the autofocus works too well. It starts picking up a face that you don't want focused. So that is always an issue. And that's a trouble that I run into a lot when I'm shooting ceremonies. When the bride's walking down the aisle, but my A7R just wants to focus on some other guy's face in the crowd, it's pretty bad. So either I will go manual focus, or I will use a selective point focus, leave it there, and just keep the bride's face on that flexible spot point.
Nice. All right.
But yeah, but I will open up the question to everybody. I mean, like, which one are you guys going to get? The Sigma 135 f1.8 or the 135 2.8? By the way, I saw some photos. I think Zeiss was having a couple of Zeiss ambassadors to take over their Instagram. The photos they took with the new 135, it looks freaking sweet, man. I really like how it looks.
We'll just have to see if it's really good, then and it's priced well. There might be a customer base for it. But for me personally, right now, I'm just not going to touch that. For me personally, for what I do, I couldn't find it compelling right now. So
yeah.
But again, chat, what would you want to get? Jason mentioned. Let's see. MavFan says here, I don't understand why Zeiss went with a 135 f2.8. That's the case. I have the 1.8 85, and if I want a 135 millimeter field of view, I put on my Alpha 6300 and I get it at 1.8. Okay. Let's see. Adrian, right, from photography and videography. We're going to be using the FE85 f1.8 for wedding ceremony for video with the Alpha 6500, which comes close to the 135, and use clear image zoom.
Yeah,
Use clear image zoom.
That's what my buddy Eric's gonna do too. So he's interested in getting the 85 1.8 just for that very same purpose. We slap on these full frame lenses on the APS-C body, we'll get that extra.
Man,
get that extra reach.
I got to see it in action. I mean, clear image zoom is great. It works well. But I mean, if it's a lockdown shot for a ceremony, I mean, yeah, a prime lens works just fine. You get enough light into that lens as well. So I'll be definitely interested. Steve says, neither Sigma or Zeiss for me, as there's zero support in Spain.
Oh, dang.
Zero support.
This has become a region problem now.
It seems like it. Oh, man. All right. You know, the one thing I will say with the Sigma, though, Jason, is that it's not native to E-mount. So
that's true.
That's the only issue.
So. Yeah. I mean, so again, I got to play with the 135 1.8 at CP Plus. And the diameter is slightly smaller than the 85 1.4. The 85 1.4 is a massive beast. So the 135 isn't too far off. It's still a little bit smaller than that. But you guys also have to factor in that you guys have to put an MC11 adapter in between the Sony camera and that 135 lens, making it protruding out even longer. So, but again, I mean, if you're shooting portraits, that shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I'll test it out if it ever comes my way, and we'll see if Sony would just, if Sigma would just produce some native E-mount glass, that'd be great. But we have that problem. Where do we go next? The chat. We kind of jumped into the chat a little bit here. Anything you see there, Jason, you want to pick at?
Well, David Osler, what's up, man? It's funny. It's like, you know, I watched your video, man.
Yeah, you know,
David's comments.
For those of you on the chat, you got to check out David's stuff. He's like the most underrated Sony YouTuber out there. I don't know what you think, Jason. I really, his stuff's really good, like really good info.
Yeah, no, David's stuff is really good info. I mean, like, I was watching his stuff when I first got my A7R2, and this, again, it just goes back to not a lot of people were talking about it. So David had really great information about the camera, what he was using, and I think he talked a lot about like shooting with the Sony A7R2 for weddings. So that's one of the reasons why, or at least one of the research that I did before jumping into it, because I wanted to do wedding photography with the Sony A7R2. So. Yeah,
and David does a lot of kind of on the shoot portraits too, and that comes in really handy for a lot of people who want to see that in action.
So he says I use mainly primes now, and I love the 35 f1.4. That is 85 1.8 and the 24 1.8 lens.
Man, that 24 1.8 Zeiss.
Do you have it?
Has that crossed your mind?
I have it. I have it. We talking about?
I forgot you had that lens, man. Do you use it a lot or no?
I do. I use it more than my 35 1.4. It's a similar focal length when you put on APS-C. It's a 35 millimeter on a 35 millimeter full frame equivalent or whatever it is. But it's nice, you know, being able to put that lens on my A6500, bounce it on my G-Unit crane, and it looks great. I mean, in fact, my A6500 first impressions video was shot with that lens, and it just gives that nice subtle bokeh in the back. It just looks awesome, and it tracks really well. Autofocus is silent, and in fact, a lot of people mistaken it as a 55 whenever I bring it out for a shoot, because it looks exactly the same, just a tad bit smaller.
Yeah,
Manny's in the house. Chat's going wild. Manny.
Oh man, what is up, Manny? Yeah, man, David Osler, man. Seriously, people need to check him out if you haven't done
Yeah.
so already. Nick is mad at us. Let's.
Nick is mad at us.
He said earlier at Dave, lenses aren't sold in my country. I have to import it, and it costs 500 US.
Oh,
It'll cost me 80,000. Was it? Where's that at, Nick? JMD, the cash for that.
oh
Nick said as much
I'm
as
so sorry.
he says he doesn't belong here on this chat.
I would have to import it. Cost 500. You guys cost. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Oh, scanning some subs.
Nice. Thanks, Alan, for supporting.
All right, let's get back to the last tidbit here of news, and we got one more. We'll see if we get to it. And there is some rumors of a Sony E-mount 100-400 that is rumored to be on the radar for Sony E-mount shooters. I know what you're going to probably say, Jason, but would you ever see a 100-400 E-mount of any use in your neck of the woods?
Probably not. I don't think I imagine I would shoot anything beyond 200. I mean, if I have to, there's clear image zoom, but yeah, I don't think I would need that hunk of a lens. But what about you, on the other hand? I think you probably could have some great use for it.
So I have way too many zoom lenses already.
Oh, man.
But, if you're on I think that lens is going to be, hopefully it's not going to be ridiculously priced. The problem is, since I already have the G Master and I have the extenders, I have both extenders, the 1.4x and the 2x.
Oh
I'm already able to cover. I basically get a 400 5.6 with the full frame extender at 2x.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally wouldn't see a necessity for it, but I think if you need that reach, maybe you're doing wildlife. I don't even know I think 100-400 is pretty decent if you have it on APS-C. I think that might be doable for wildlife photography, a 100-400 on APS-C.
Mm-hmm.
But and maybe some outdoor sports, but there's the 70-300. I don't know. More details got to come out about the 100-400. So, chat, what do you think about a 100-400? Do you shoot wildlife? Do you think you have a use for it? I think there is a case use for me on my end for sports, but it's not really something that's piquing my interest too much. But I think a lot of people who have been asking for a long telephoto lens, I think Sony's going to be able to deliver on that. Again, I still would like to see a 400-2.8, but that's just me dreaming. That's just me dreaming.
Is there such a lens even exists on like other camera brand? Is there a 400-2.8?
What's that, Jason?
Is there an actual 400-2.8 out in the market right now by anybody?
Canon.
Oh, so Canon has it.
Canon,
all right,
Nikon.
Well, soon, Sony's.
Yeah. That's I think Sony Sigma has the 500 f4, which I did pre-order, but I canceled it because I was being stupid. So I had to reassess my life for a second there. I had a $7,000 lens in my pre-order, so I just canceled it. Good thing I did that. So
nice.
Hey, did you Alex Sandoval? I know we're jumping here real quick to something else. Alex was mentioning. Oh, Zoom Chris says, guys, what happened tonight? Oh, Nick's from Jamaica. Chris said, I saw part of a failed stream.
Zoom Chris, let's not bring that up anymore. That's in the past. And don't ask why we're holding phones either.
I know. He's probably like, why are they holding phones?
Yeah, we're not. We're just. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Chris. It's all good. Alex Sandoval says, I'm excited to watch the Camera Store TV video they made at the Sony Thailand factory. Did you see that video?
No, I haven't got a chance yet.
They were showing the video of them actually. The they didn't really show everything from beginning to end, obviously, but they did show some of the process of putting together the cameras, the A7R2s, and I just thought like, wow, that's where the A7R2 is born. You know, it's like they boxed it and everything. So I think that's pretty cool. I haven't seen their particular video from the store too, so I'll have to check it out
for sure. You know, funny thing that these are all built in Thailand. I think I've read some article. I forgot what the specific item was, either lens or a camera, but this guy had a damaged camera, and then he took it. He called up multiple places. I forgot what brand it is, but he called multiple support places, US, Germany, or whatever. And it cost too much money to fix it. But he went to the pro support in Thailand, and they fixed it for dirt cheap. But everywhere else he went to, they're just like, yeah, this is beyond repair. This is beyond repair. Absolutely destroyed. We had to crack it open, and it's going to cost you too much money. But then Thailand fixed it up quite fast and painless and easy on the wallet. I forgot. I don't know if someone in the chat knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, seems like Thailand would be the place to get your camera fixed.
You know, I think it's just the fact that they have all the parts. I mean, if they have all the parts, then they can go right and fix it. I mean, but it's like saying, yeah, my A7R2 is broken. Let's just fly out to Thailand. And
I want to go, man. Thailand is. I heard you can live like kings in Thailand for what you pay at McDonald's.
You know, I've been seeing like this idea that if you can probably live in third world countries if you still are able to work remotely and make U.S. income, you could definitely still be able to travel and live in different places.
Yeah, I watched this guy named Lost in LeBlanc. I'll just make it quick, but yeah, pretty much that's what he's doing. He's living like a king in Thailand. And he makes all these crazy GoPro-like videos, but he even shoots on a GH4, and all his video comes out amazing. So, great vlog. I don't know if anyone watches Lost in LeBlanc.
All right, Matt Van says the Canon 2.8 400mm is 10 grand. Woo. I've seen it used. I've seen the older one used go for around, I don't know, 4, 5 maybe. So. The thought has crossed my mind, Matt Fan One. I'm just, I just got to sell some things, but I'm just waiting for Sony. We'll see. Sony Shooter says, "Do you guys think?" Before we jump to that, Jason, what's the most you'll ever pay for a lens? What's your budget?
I don't know, man. I mean, me paying $2,600 for the G Master speaks volumes already. So.
So Jason will buy a $10,000 402.8.
I don't know what kind of portraits would I shoot with that? What kind of portraits can I shoot with that?
I hear those 300s to 400s is great for portraiture to
yeah, I've seen it.
I've seen
it happening.
Or I know Jason Lanieri was using that 200 f2 point, that 200 1.8 or even 200 f2 from Canon.
That he was.
Whew. I'm good with. I don't need those. I'm good. All right. Sony Shooter, do you guys think grabbing stills from video changes the game of photography? Jason, you shoot a lot of video. What do you think? Taking stills.
Well, I've only done it a handful of times with my A6500. I think you're referring to that 4K screen grab from the camera internally, right? Sony Shooter, but I mean, you're not really pulling a raw file out of that. So if you're looking to like churn out anything quick, like a thumbnail or something that you shot for a vlog and you want to throw it up on Instagram, but you didn't take a picture, yeah, it's definitely game changing. I think a lot of content creators such as ourselves, we can really benefit from that. Shoot the video, shoot the vlog, and then we're like, hey, stay tuned, guys, because we just went to Thailand and here's a picture of it. So we just screen grab it from the video, bam, post it up on Instagram.
I shot some track and field on Saturday, and I shot just a little bit of video with the Mark IV. I was using the 5D Mark IV. I flipped it to the 4K, and I was looking at the freeze frames because I was shooting at a high shutter speed. I was recording video at high shutter speed, and my goodness, the quality on those JPEGs or just the file itself, you could pass it off as a decent image if you have it. Look, I mean, it's really good. I think it's really close, and I think if video gets to just even 6K, like let's just say it goes up to 5 to 6K, I really think that it's going to change the field in certain areas. I won't say in everything. I'll say in certain areas. But for sports, man, it looks, you can just freeze any frame, like literally from an athlete at those high shutter speeds. Obviously, I guess, like I said, you got to require high shutter speed, but you could pick almost any frame. So I think it could change it. But and add to the point that Jason mentioned, I would use the 4K video to make the thumbnails, and it's just better quality overall having that 4K video.
Yeah.
Where in the world were we talking about earlier? But
we just went off
on it. Let's see here. Let's jump back to the.
Yeah.
I'm the Brown says. Nick Lawrence says, "Amen. 10 grand. I wonder how 10 grand is in Jamaica." I'm the Brown says, "What's your return on investment for that $2,600 lens, Jason? Has it made you your money back?"
The answer is no. The answer is unfortunately no. If I have to be honest, I'm not, my 7200 is pretty much sitting in my drawer right now, not being used. It's just, I never have too much opportunity to use it. If I'm shooting portraits, I'm taking out the 85 1.4. But at ceremony, I would only ever use it for ceremonies and concert photography. But concert photography doesn't really come up too often for me, and sometimes I can really just get away with the 24-70 G Master because I'm not too far away from the action of the ceremony. So yeah, it kind of sucks. And I kind of want to sell it, but at the same time, it has its moments that I need it. So I just can't part with it. But for now, yeah, I haven't. There is no return on investment for that.
I really think it's kind of like the 7200 2.8. It sucks because there's not a lot of options yet for Sony. So if you really need that 2.8, that's the only choice you got, really, if you really need it. So as far as return on investment, that lens definitely is gonna. It's an investment on your end to when it's gonna pay off at some point. So
yeah. So if you can find use out of a 7200, I say definitely go for it. But just again, I have the 85 1.4, so it just kind of like kills it off from the portrait. I wouldn't want to bring that lens for a portrait shoot.
Yeah. Manny says, I couldn't do it. 200 millimeters is my max as far as reach. Mm-hmm. I could see it. I mean, 200 for portraiture. I think it's Manny's thing. So
yeah.
Would you ever try 300 millimeters, Manny, if you're still there? A 300 millimeter lens?
I think Keydren shoots with a 300. If you guys know Keydren.
A 300.
Yeah, I think he shoots with a 300.
Yeah, a 300 just has that different look, man. It has a different look.
I think I've seen like a photo posted ages ago. It's just like this guy who shot this bodybuilder, and that's like row of girls next to him, and everyone is like, "Dude, this looks Photoshop," but it's not. It's just wow, that amazing. That lens can just completely just kill the background and get a line of people in focus. It's ridiculous.
Manny says, if Diana and I are mad at each other. Ouch. Get a longer reach lens.
Get a longer reach. Okay, we're waiting for that day. We know what happens when you pick up that 300.
Dave Sincere, I guess we were talking about the pricing, right? Geez, I would have to charge people $2,000 for a headshot. Dave, if you can pull that off, that'd be amazing. Chris said, you can do portraits from Thailand with the 400 from the US to with the 400 millimeters.
Speaking of putting long lenses, I don't know, did you see that one video? There's this one guy who put his telescope on the A6500.
Yep.
That's insane. Now that's a crazy one.
Yeah. That's definitely awesome. A 1900 millimeter lens. I think it was like f11 or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but the amount of reach that it can get, it's amazing. David Osler, I guess, response to the wedding related topic. He said the secret to being successful as a wedding/portrait photographer is doing fusion of video and stills. I get so much work offering that as I have no competition and no one is offering it here.
Nice. So are you saying that you run the team that shoots both photos and videos, or are you saying you do both photo and video at the same time? I'm guessing it's the first option or whatever.
He's saying, I think he responded, he has 3 assistants. So I think he's able to pull off both. You know, he's, I guess, David, you're out there, David Osler. What do you primarily take over? Are you going to be in charge of the video primarily or the photography side? Because I'm really interested in that. Because for the few times that I've done like type of maybe like a wedding or something that requires both photo and video, I feel like I don't do a good enough job if I'm doing both. But if I'm focused on one thing, I can do it really well, either photos or video. But if you have me try to do both, it's a struggle.
Well, hello?
Hello? I can still hear you.
Oh man.
What happened?
Let me call you back.
Live stream. Sorry about that. Jason's giving me a call.
There we go. There we go.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, what were we talking about?
We were talking about. I asked David Osler a question on.
Oh yeah,
like
I remember.
Does he focus on video or photography more? What would you fall on? Your thoughts on that, Jason?
You know what? I've seen this group in my area. I think they're by the name of Justin Element. He runs a huge team shooting both video and photos, and he's quite successful. And I think a lot of people that's what they do now. It's just like there's a team that you just hired that does both photo and video. It's just easier for the bride to like, hey, yeah, do you do video as well? You know, he has a team. So oftentimes I get inquiries from brides that are just like, oh, is the video, does your pricing come with video too? So I just think it's just a lot easier instead of like going to different vendors for video, for photo, for flowers, for whatever. Having it all in one place just makes it a lot easier. So I think definitely it gives the person more incentive to book through just one company. And that's what we're doing with this one photographer right now. We're just working with him. Brides come to him, book him, and then they want video too. It just gets outsourced to us. So we're like a huge team.
Nice. Like I say, I really think that I don't know. Where Jason disappeared.
I need to get my charger. Get my charger.
Oh, he's getting it.
Hey,
I don't know. What are you guys? Those of you in the chat, what are your thoughts? Do you think? I don't know if we already talked about it much, but do you think at some point that video will take over the stills arena? Will you see it start kind of chomping away, where people can just pull stills? You can do your video. Yeah, you're going to have to shoot at a higher frame rate, but do you think you could work it in your workflow? And I think, David, I think it'd be a good question to ask you, because you're doing both right now. Could you see yourself pulling stills out of video if it went from 5 to 6K in terms of its ability? So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that, because it's just, they brought this up when the 1DC came out some years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Oh, it's going to change everything. You're just going to pull stills. That didn't really like happen so much, but now there's so many more cameras that can do it that I'm wondering if that's where things are going, and just being on top of the video area. So,
yeah, good stuff.
All right. As they're going through that, Jason, we got one last thing on the news. I think you added it here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not as exciting as all the Sony talk we're having, but just so you guys know, you guys can save your live videos now on Instagram. So before, when you go live, you can't save whatever you shot, so that kind of just like trickled off away.
Mm.
And now they just rolled out this feature, literally like 5 minutes before we went live, or 5 minutes before the fail live. I found out that you can now save your live videos. So kind of wish I had that when I was at CP Plus. So for those of you who missed out on the stream, at least I can re-upload it elsewhere for you guys to watch. But you know, they're kind of late in that game. So yeah, I mean, now that I have YouTube mobile live, I'm doing this kind of setup. There's no need for me to save any of my Instagram videos. So, but for sure, anyone who's like popular doing Instagram live, that's going to be a great option now.
I wonder why I didn't have it in the first place. But that's great. That's actually pretty good. I think probably the concern was a lot of people always have issues with space on their phones. So if
that's true. That's
if
true.
they're streaming live and their space runs out, but I think that'll become in handy. As far as being able to save Instagram live videos, because then for content creators like you and myself, we can incorporate that later if that happens to be a necessity. Yeah. So I think that has some benefit to it, definitely. So that's cool. I did not even hear about that until you mentioned it, Jason.
I think that, yeah. Cool. So yeah, we pretty much hit the end of the news. Open Q&A.
I know. Yeah, so right now, guys, we are on Q&A session here for, I don't know, maybe let's say what, another 10?
Yeah, 10, 15. I'm good.
All right. Yeah, all right. So how's that charger? Is it working for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's working. I jumped 1%. I'm just hoping my Sony doesn't die. It's doing fairly well.
Do you have it plugged to an external power?
I have it plugged to an external battery, but the thing is, it's still draining the battery. The battery drains too fast for the charger to actually keep up. So I need a dummy battery.
Yeah, definitely get one. It's really handy.
Well, do you think I can just plug my and this is probably a great question too for anybody who's in the chat. Do you guys try to take like a wall adapter outlet? Let's say your iPhone little iPhone brick, just stab the USB into an outlet and stab it into your camera. Does that work? Probably. I don't know if that's a good idea. I was thinking about it, but I just plugged in my external battery.
Yeah, I've done it. Nothing exploded yet.
Okay, good.
So I have like a bunch of different charging bricks. I even have some from my phone, from phones, and I haven't had any major issues, or I haven't seen any issues. So I think I'm in the clear. I think I'm in the clear.
All right. Good to know. But then for stuff like this, again, guys, if I'm using any sort of long recording or I'm plugging any external battery power or anything to my camera, I try to use OEM Sony batteries, because any China-built batteries like the Wasabi, I do not trust at all. Especially since, your cameras can overheat. That could be a huge issue.
I disagree with Jason. Get all Wasabi batteries.
If you're shooting photo, fine. But if you're shooting videos, oh man, I would not trust Wasabi.
For me, I would just go straight to like external battery packs if I'm shooting video. And just to quickly, I shot a school play. Was it Friday night? Friday night, and I posted on my Instagram like this random video. If you haven't seen it, well, I know it's not there anymore, obviously, because it's a story. But I was using my Sony RX10 Mark II. I don't know if anybody out there has a Sony RX10 Mark II, but I actually think that camera, I have not had it overheat before. I've had it shoot 4K. I had the unlimited hack on it, and it just rolled. It literally just rolled. Wow. And never got the overheating indication. So I used that as my wide shot for the school play. And then I used my A7R2. I used the A7R2 for my close-up with the 7200G Master. And then I had one of my students down on the bottom part of the stage with the 6500 with the 7200 f4. And didn't have any overheating issues. It's not that hot yet, but we didn't have any issues, so I was very, very happy about that.
Cool.
So
Ah,
So
interesting.
if you do want to see, I'm just gonna post a link to that video. You can check it out later. But this was all shot with Sony related stuff. So if you ever want to see that later, I'm just letting you know that was all shot with Sony RX10 Mark II, A7R2, and the Alpha 6500. For those wondering. All right. And so we were talking about batteries. Let's go to the chat. You know how we were talking about using video instead of stills?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Manny says, all right, well, let's jump with Dave. Dave said, I originally thought that why would I shoot stills? But I see people don't really care how they're viewed as long as they're viewed.
Mm.
Do you think that's the case, Jason, on Instagram and social media?
Originally thought, why would she still buy TV? Well, I don't quite understand the statement.
Yeah, unless he's going for the fact. I mean, the reality is, I know it's not a lot of people ever stop and admire an image as much anymore. It's more like you just kind of flip your screen, you go through it. But I don't know if that's what he's exactly pointing out, because people just care about it getting viewed. But maybe I'm not seeing it correctly. But we're going to jump on there. Manny says it'd be less fun if you're just shooting. I guess he's referring to just shooting video and pulling stills from it. Oh, Dave Sincere said people love to be seen, but it's something about pictures that lighten their spirits up. Your thoughts on that, Jason?
I'm sorry, I still don't. I need more context. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit slow on this.
I think that Dave says he was responding to why shoot stills. People just want to be seen. They often don't care about the format.
Yeah. No comment.
Yeah, everybody just think about that one. That's all. That's all I would say. Dave Osler agrees about the whole shooting photos and video. I guess he's all about keeping it separated, I guess. Alex Sandoval, Danny, you should launch a website where you do product reviews and news. I would definitely bookmark it. Alex, I appreciate the thought. I am just struggling really, really bad to find time to do those kind of things. But if I ever get around to it, I definitely will let you know. Jason, where's yours? You should launch a website. Do you have a website, Jason?
I don't know. I mean, like, is it worth starting a website? Because I don't know. Like, I'm personally struggling myself right now. Maybe the chat can help me out too. Here's my ordeal right now. I want to have a website. So I do have a website. I have a domain. Maybe some of you clicked on it, and it's horribly put together right now. Super heavily under construction without the under construction sign. But initially, I wanted to make a website for clients to look at, like, oh, hey, you know, I'm Jason Vong. I want to shoot your photos. I want to shoot your videos. But then, you know, I thought about it more. I was like, I really want to pursue this whole YouTube career thing. So maybe instead of making my website for photography, videography, you know, maybe I should make it to do product reviews and stuff, sort of like what Dave Dugdale was doing with his learningvideo.com. Because I feel like if I do start taking more client work, that's just going to take me away from making YouTube videos. So YouTube is something that I want to mainly focus on. So yeah, I'll open up to the chat. You know, let me know what your advice is, guys.
No, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because I figured, I mean, like, if I'm, you know, it's just like I'm not getting that much gigs personally myself. Like, all my gigs that I get are through my friend and through other people. So it's not like people come to me directly for gigs.
You know, maybe it's you know how what I did with my website is initially I tried to do a transcription of the actual video review that I did. So what I did was I put the script, I made a script to review the product. I typed it all out, and then I put my key points, and I just copied and pasted that onto the website and just kind of modified it obviously a bit. And then I put that onto my site. And if I had more time, I'd be more meticulous about it and my grammar, I guess. and add some actual images. But I typically would just put the video review and then kind of a transcription of what was said in the video. And that just, I guess, helps with like SEO, I guess, and search to some degree. But that's just kind of how I would approach it.
Okay. Cool.
Let's see. Adrian from Photography AO and JO Photography and Videographer says video frame grabs will never replace photos. Videos are typically landscape. Photo, you can use flash, portrait, and landscape orientation.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good point, and I think David also brought up that you can't use flash.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely. I think video and photo are two different beasts. I mean, if you're taking, that's why we strive to make video in our wedding films to look very different from photos. Because like if we're shooting exactly what the photographer is shooting, they're just getting a moving still image. So what my buddy Eric and we try to do, and he always encouraged this, is that we should shoot more cinematic. You know, just make it, you know, instead of shooting it straight on, you know, shoot profile, you know, shoot the little things that a photo wouldn't be able to tell, you know. So we want to be different from what we're shooting. So yeah, it just goes back to, you know, photos and video being two different beasts. And photos, you can be very clever with your flashes, something that you probably can't do with video. So there's like different things, different ways to do things.
You know what? I think I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna shoot just purely video and pull stills from it one day. It's gonna happen. I'm just gonna do it.
I mean, well, in your situation, I think it might just work.
We'll see.
You're not shooting and you're not putting a flash somewhere out on a track field or something, and then you have to fire it. Because
I was asked to shoot a wedding, I think in September, and just photos. But I'll go talk to her and see what's up. Yeah, it's funny. It's a student of mine, so she's getting married. So we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see. All right, Steve says, if you're out doing a shoot in the summer and you get invited to go somewhere like a restaurant, do you leave your gear in a hot car or do you drag it everywhere with you?
Me, I go first. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm letting you now. I probably won't go to that restaurant. Go home, put the gear safe. I'm very paranoid leaving anything in my car. Like if I go shooting out a YouTube video, I will lug all my stuff with me if I need to go in Toys R Us, Costco, or anything. Because gear that is on me is much safer than me leaving in the car. Because there's a lot of theft happening in Los Angeles, believe it or not.
Yeah, you know what? I should just keep my mouth shut and not say anything at all. Because the more information I give, it's the scarier it'll be. I actually had a student of mine. He had a 5D Mark III. I think he was out shooting portraits, and someone broke into his truck, and they took his camera bag. So they took his Mark III. They took his 24-105 and I think his 85, and they left his phone there. His phone was just on his dashboard. So what I was thinking was that possibly someone knew, because I think he posted it on Twitter or some social media site where he was at location-wise, and they went and took his stuff. So it really sucks. I think he was able to get a deductible on his insurance, his car insurance, for about $1,000. So you know, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. But it really does suck. So I'm really cautious about that. Maybe even just mentioning where you happen to be. I have a tendency, I know it's really bad, and I don't even know if I want to say this or not. I have a tendency to leave my gear in certain places, but I can typically see it. But if someone were to just like really fast grab it, they'd be off with it. Like, they could if they really wanted to.
Yeah, but just be careful. Yeah, just be careful with your gears, guys. It's definitely a huge concern on our end all the time. So it will happen in less than 5 seconds. So yeah, better safe. Put away the gear safe or keep it on you rather than leaving it in your car. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here though. That was in the summer in the hot. I don't think we even answered the whole hot car thing.
Okay, so I personally don't like leaving my gear in the car when it's hot. But I had a friend who I used to work with. He would just leave his DJI Ronin, any sort of camera, lenses in a hot car. I mean, we never had an issue with them, but yeah, I probably wouldn't.
I used to do that. I kind of just would leave my stuff, but I wised up a little bit about that, and I just take this. I would if the bag is really light, I would just take it with me. If it was like a small bag gear, I would take it into the restaurant. I wouldn't leave it out in the sun. Especially my area gets up to like 100, and especially in a car, it's going to be like 100. I don't know, effectively like 110, 120 or something. So
Yeah.
I would take it out of the car. That'd be my approach. So I'd rather have it air conditioned, my gear. All right, 77 TikTok. Anyone have a suggestion on their favorite bag for a camera? So suggestions on a favorite bag for a camera attached to a gimbal. I'm perpetually changing the rig up. Can't settle on one bag for the life of me.
Yeah, my buddy Eric, he uses a gosh, we were gonna make a video on this too. I forgot what it's called, but pretty much just like a little duffel bag, small little duffel bag. We just put it in. That's it. Just make sure it doesn't have anything that just like has, you know how like camera bags have dividers. Maybe just don't have the dividers and just stick it in. But in terms of like a specific bag, I don't have a suggestion for that. I usually just, I mean, I would use my Peak Design Messenger bag and just pull out the dividers and put the gimbal and the camera in.
Yeah, I don't regularly use a gimbal at all, so I really can't help you on that. Hopefully, someone has mentioned something in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Sony Shooter says, "How do you set yourself apart from everyone else?" He says, "Drones?" ?
Tough question. I mean, everybody has a drone now. Manny.
I don't have a drone, but yeah.
Dude, did you see Manny's video, his Chicago video? Man, that drone just adds so much production quality, and Chicago looks so nice, Manny. Good job on that.
Yeah.
Good job on the drone shot. But I think what Sony Shooter is asking is, I guess for weddings, how do we set ourselves apart? Very tough questions. We try to, I think the thing is, just make good work and just talk up the clients. I mean, you just have to have a good relations with your client and make sure, they know that you are a nice, friendly guy that's not going to murder them on their wedding day. So it just has to do with a lot of, talking and interpersonal relationships. So that's how you're going to set yourself apart. So let your work do the talking, and then from there, let yourself do the talking and win the clients over. So.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good advice. Let your work show, and then you got to bring yourself out. Your character and your personality are going to be a big factor. And just really marketing, I think. Well,
and yeah, I think even if you're not talking about like client work, I think that goes for everything. I mean, like the reason why you guys are watching me and Danny right now is because our personalities shine through above everybody else's. So. And I think it just goes back to, who's the YouTuber you guys watch? There's a lot of people that don't like Frono's photo, but people like Matt Granger. It's just like, which of their personality do you connect well the most? So again, it's just your personality is going to get you, a demographic. It's what sets you apart from other people.
Yeah. If the area you shoot in doesn't have drone shots, then definitely get a drone. That's all I would say. I mean, in terms of just tech, if someone's not offering something tech-wise that you can offer, then I think it might be beneficial. That's the way I would look at it. Manny,
yes, okay.
I think he was responding back to way back when you mentioned this. He says I think you were saying that you wanted to kind of not take so much paid work because you wanted to focus more on the YouTube end. Was that right, Jason?
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
And
yeah,
then,
that's actually the thing. Yeah, I think Manny's the one who actually, I mean, he brought it up in his Facebook post, which got me thinking too. I mean, like I've seen it a long time ago, but I didn't really consider it until just recently. So yeah, it's just hard. You start picking up so much gig, you don't have time for YouTube. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really tough question, and that's the one that I've had to struggle with, especially even today, just trying to get just trying to get this live stream.
You're a full-time teacher, so you're different.
Yeah,
Your time is gone.
It's really tough, and like I said, my students always check around. Eusebio, why are you still doing this? Or are you just be a YouTuber? I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. David Osler, when I offer video, though, I only offer a 3 to 4 minute highlight video, but it is often all the brides want. Jason, what kind of stuff have you had to make for your clients that you worked with?
You know what? I don't directly talk. I don't talk to clients directly too often. But what we offer, again, is like a 4 to 6 minute highlight film. For some reason, these next two videos that I'm going to edit, they want like a doc edit as well, which is that's something that's pretty new to me. It's just pretty much compilation of usable clips into one timeline. Yeah. What's the thing that I kind of don't understand is why someone would want an hour-long ceremony on video, because I probably wouldn't have the attention span to rewatch just like a wide shot of the ceremony. That's just me though. But people still want them.
No, I get you on that. Yeah, 4 to 6 minutes, like that 4 to 5 minute time frame seems like
it's good. It's good. I mean, like I've read horror stories on Facebook groups that are just like, I gave them a 4 to 6 minute highlight film, and the bride's mom was complaining how I was there for 8 hours and only cranked out a 6 minute short film. And I was just like, oh my God, I hope that does not happen to me one day. Where an angry mom emails me and be like, you were there for 8 hours. What were you doing that you only have 6 minutes of film to show for?
I mean, if she was, I'm assuming she wasn't the one that was dealt with directly. It was like the daughter or something. But
yeah, that's
obviously, obviously they got to know exactly what you're going to get them, right? I mean, if you say, look, it's a 4 to 5 minute video, that's what you're going to get.
But even then, there are some people in that initial stage would be like, haha, what? Are you kidding me? 4 to 5 minutes for an 8 hour and you're charging $5,000 for this? I'm out of here. But that's just, I'm sure a lot of people can relate.
Hey, but if you get that one, right? If you get that one customer, instead of a bunch of $100 customers, you get that one big customer. I'll make up a lot of it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Zoom Chris got to go. I'm playing charades with my little one. Have a great one. Have fun. See you around.
Cool.
See you, Chris. Hope you join the next live stream.
Yep.
David Osler said he would leave it in the car, but take the memory cards.
Oh, yes. Smart too. That's a smart thing.
Yeah, if you just shot something, if you just like had shot something, that's definitely a good idea. Adrian said from O&J Photography and Videography, someone stole all of Moment Lens stuff, laptops, and new wide angle iPhone 7 Plus lens while they were in Starbucks.
Oh my God. Wait, did this happen to you, Adrian, or does this happen to someone else? Oh, I think it was off my lens. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, dude.
Yeah. Dave Sincere, my student, he was just doing, I think, a portrait shoot out and about. But he'll get it worked out. It just kind of sucks on his end. What is it? Manny Ortiz says he's obsessed with his drone.
Oh man, I want a Mavic, but then everyone has a Mavic, and I'm just like, oh man.
I had it on pre-order when it came out, but it was.
You should have kept it.
I just said I should have, but because I was thinking like, I'm gonna start doing blogs like Casey Neistat or whatever and all that stuff, and I'm like, nah, I don't have time for that. So I just canceled the order, and now it's tough to get a Mavic. I mean, you can still get it. It's just you gotta wait a little bit. Manny also said he had a nightmare last night that he slammed it into a wall. He woke up so mad.
That would be a nightmare that I would always have. Oh,
it makes me wonder if I should get like the insurance that, you know, there's like the, you know, sometimes you buy something and they'll have like an additional insurance you can get.
yeah, DJI for sure has that. If you crash, it'll replace it for you.
David Osler, 1 hour wedding video is so boring. Nick, bye, man. I know. Sorry about that. Nick says bye.
Bye, Nick. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, 1 hour wedding video, dude. I'm gonna have to edit one myself, and that's the wedding where 2 of our A6500 shut off. So that's an hour ceremony. I'm gonna see what I can do. Probably take like, I'm just gonna repeat some wide shots at the very end to fake some things. So
just slow motion, man.
Just hope the clients aren't watching right now.
Hopefully not. Steve says, when using an external recorder, do you also press record on the camera? I heard the camera doesn't output full detail unless it's actually recording.
Yeah, you know what? That's a funny thing that you brought that up, because I just found out from rewatching Dave Dugdale's videos that when his A7S II is not recording, it for some reason drops in quality. So he has a shinier, smoother forehead when his camera is just sitting there idly, and then his recorder picked it up. So, oh, man, I don't know. Are you guys seeing my face being smoothed out right now? Because my A7R2 is just, it's just sitting there idly while it's just pointing at me. Man, yeah, that's something that I still don't. I don't know. I still need to play around with and see.
Glad you pointed that out, because I had no idea on that question. So Sony Shooter says, it's not a question, it's a fact. Manny gets his power from his beard.
Yeah, man. He looks so sexy, man. He's the sexy.
Eric Chang. I don't know if I'm
oh
saying
my
that right.
God, Eric. Trolling us again on the chat, man.
How does one overcome gas? Does gear really matter? Didn't we answer? Okay, kind of a joke question, because I know what the right answer is.
You don't overcome gas. Just embrace it, man. You want that gear, just buy it. I don't know. I think, yeah. In all seriousness, I think like I have gotten a lot of questions that people are just like, should I get this? But I want to get this, and you know, yada yada yada. And I'm just like, you're sitting there debating about it. You're gonna struggle with this for another 2 months. You might as well just buy it. You don't like it, just return it. The only issue with that I have with that logic is that I never return any of the things that I bought. So that actually just loses. I just lose right there. So.
As far as gas, you just got to make sure you have money.
Don't be in credit card debt. So the thing that I'm super proud of is that I'm not having any sort of credit card debt with all these gears that I bought. Whew.
Yeah. The one thing I could say is that I have no debt. Like I'm doing fine. I'm able to get the gear that I want, but I have to be very specific about the selection and how I pick it up. So on that front, I'm you know, I'm not in any issue or anything, but
yeah, me and Danny are not glamorous guys either. So you see Danny, you know, he's sitting in a prison cell right now, and I'm just in a room
pretty much
in a white wall. So we're not exactly living high either. So
I just spend the money differently, you know. That's the funds just go somewhere else. Does gear really matter? It depends on what you're doing. I think the gear will help you overcome some certain obstacles if you need it, but definitely I would always say that whether you're a more seasoned photographer or videographer, you can definitely do a lot better than someone who has better gear than you that doesn't know what they're doing. But that's the typical answer. I don't know.
Fact for sure. I like to think that if gear matters at a certain point. I mean, like for me, honestly, photography didn't get fun until I start buying all these lenses. And the fact that I'm like using these lenses now, I'm starting to see things a lot differently. It's like, oh, this lens is not sharp. This lens is sharp. This lens is cool. This lens is not. You know, so yeah, gear matters until you. Gear doesn't. I get. How should I phrase this? Gear matters. One, I guess.
I think it's just kind of this weird cycle. If you're doing YouTube related stuff, you're having to constantly try to get different materials to review. But I don't know. That's the way
That's true too. That is true too.
I think if you're going to be doing that YouTube stuff for the most part, Jason, you're screwed. You're going to have gas until people start sending you things. So
yeah, please send me things. Everything has been bought so far. Please send me something.
Yeah.
Oh man, he sent me something. Anything, man.
David Osler says, my drone was attacked by birds. That sucks.
Oh my gosh.
David.
That's my greatest fear.
Man.
It's not me killing a bird, it's a bird killing my drone. That's $1,000 right there, pigeon. I hope you like that. And stop shitting on my car too.
77 TikTok says, I have some horror stories about the insurance, I guess with DJI. My first Mavic I went 2 months waiting. So it took 2 months. He got a second one in the interim and resold eventually. The support sucked a big time.
Ouch. Wow,
So
really?
that's 77 TikTok experience.
Was that in the US? Oh my gosh.
Michael Mistro Pierce, $5. Holy mac and cheese balls.
Woo!
Michael, you are way too awesome.
Thank you,
Setting that. Really appreciate that, Michael.
That's $5 towards your dropped 5D Mark IV.
That I know, right? Good. You know what? It's fine. I was looking at it. It's like just a little tiny scratch. So
it's a beast.
It only landed on the lens anyway, so
right.
It's fine. It just bounced, but it's okay.
I shed a tear for you right there.
I was shedding a tear for myself, and I was like, should I just cancel this live stream? That's what's going through my mind.
Ruined, camera dropped, canceled.
It's like I get here, I got home like at 6:45. I'm like, crap. And then I quickly get everything going, and I realize I don't have my Gorilla Pod that holds my camera, my camera. To drop my camera, man.
Okay, my Elgato wasn't working.
Oh man. Oh well. We live and learn. Michael says, man, everyone in this chat, what's up?
What is up, Michael? And thank you again.
Man, so that's my first $5 on Super Chat, man. Michael, thank you. Look at Hell Orc says, a camera people, another word for stalker. Or potential sex offenders. He's going in the dark area there with that comment.
Yeah. Definitely in the wrong hands.
Yeah, definitely. 77 TikTok says, not living the high life, eh? Cue Jason Vong's table lift past his face. Man, that is so awesome. That is way too awesome. Whoa.
Okay, well, truth is out. I'm not wearing gray sweats, so I lost my monochrome style. Hey, 77 TikTok. You know how much that's cost me? $250. Before, to get a standing desk like this, you had to pay almost $500. So I bought the cheap, budgeted desk.
Where'd you get yours from, Jason?
I got mine from Autonomous AI.
Okay.
Oh, where is it? There it is. Oh, there we go.
77 TikTok says, I wish he wasn't wearing pants.
He was what? Oh man, yeah, no. Well, from what I learned from that BBC thing, oh my god, you've seen too much now. I'm not using a gray shirt to on a table to you know. Anyways, let's move past that.
Yeah, let's move on. Michael says thanks for all you do. Again, Michael, thank you so much, man. I got to get back to making more content. I just got to get through this next month. I think I'll be in the clear after this month, but I do appreciate that, Michael. 77 TikTok mentioned a little bit more issues. He had pink banding issues on the first day pre-orders. So good thing I didn't. I'm glad I didn't get those first day pre-orders because that would have been bad. He crashed the second one. Oh, that sucks, man.
That's my greatest fear, like owning that drone and just crashing it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Alex Sandoval says, would you guys ever purchase Lightroom presets?
Yes, absolutely. I think I might have purchased some, but I don't remember.
That's a scary thing. I don't remember either. I bought the one for video, the one for the S-Log stuff.
Yeah, I got James Miller D-Less, but if it can speed up your workflow significantly, I mean, why not? If you can do it yourself, you save money. But I think if there's a certain look you're going for and it's a certain style that you want to mimic, I mean, the preset can save you a lot of time. I mean, like, why not spend a couple bucks and just get the preset?
Yeah, definitely. I don't see it. I haven't seen one that really stood out to me that I needed, so I haven't had a real reason to get a Lightroom preset. But I don't know. The chat, let me know. Do you guys have presets? Have you bought any of those?
Yeah, I think I got the Visco preset when I was like just starting out because I was just like, ooh, everyone's using Visco. Yeah, let me get that. I never used it. I had to filter a few times, and I'm just like, bleh. Oh, you know what made me super mad? You know that Nik collection that Google owns now? That Nik collection?
No idea.
That the NIK collection. Okay, so pretty much it's this uber mega software for Photoshop and Lightroom where you can smooth face. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's a very powerful photo editing add-on to your Photoshop and your Lightroom. And that used to cost a lot of money. Google bought it out. It cost only $100 when Google came out with it. And then I bought it for $100. And then guess what? I think a year later, or even less than that, 3 months later, it became free for everyone to get. And I was just like, oh.
That's terrible, man.
But if you guys don't have the Nik collection, NIK, whatever, check it out. It's freaking amazing. Great
free?
stuff. It's free now, so get it. It's a very powerful thing. I'm just blanking out what it can do specifically because I don't use it too often. But hey, it's free, it's powerful, it's compatible with CC. You might as well get it.
Let me go ahead and bookmark that, and I'll take a look later. Did not even know that was a thing. Awesome. The more you know. Dave says, I downloaded Nik and used it once.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, I don't know. A lot of people can make a really good use out of it. I think nowadays, because Photoshop and Lightroom can do what Nik can do before. Because before, it's just one of those things where it just like gives you more power, and Photoshop isn't something that was giving it to you. But now, since, because of Creative Cloud, with all their new updates and everything, I think it's made Nik a little bit less useful. And plus, I don't think they're still supporting that collection. So I think after a while, Creative Cloud would just move way beyond that, where it can do everything, and that thing would just be completely useless. But for now, it's a great software.
Yeah, I got to check it out. It looks pretty cool. Michael Mitro Pierce says, any of you guys going to NAB? I'll let Jason take that one.
I'll be there. I just booked my hotel last week, so I'll be there from the 24th to the 26th. So I'll be there for the first 3 days of the convention, and then I'll disappear by the last day. So if you guys are going, let me know. I'm telling you to go, Danny.
I can't. I want to, but unfortunately, I have some other. I have some obligations I got to go to San Diego for a competition that my students are
Oh,
doing. So
come
yeah, the
on,
funny
man.
thing is they're doing digital cinema. So I got 3 teams. They're doing digital cinema, and if they win, if the first place wins, we're going to Kentucky.
Oh.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens if they happen to win and take first place at the competition. So I'm in San Diego for a few days for that, and it kind
Nice.
of runs into that time frame. So that's the reason why I can't make it out to NAB, which I wish I could, but
I know, man. Wish you could too.
I'm sure there's other people that are gonna be out there. Jason, you're very talkative
You know,
and very social person.
this time around, I don't know too many YouTube. I'm sure Dave Duckdale will be there. I'll probably say hi to him and be like, "Hey, man, I learned so much from you. You're like my videography dad on the
Who are
internet.
you? He's like, who are
You don't know me, but I love your work, dude."
Oh man. Steve says, "Good chicken in Kentucky." You know, I was joking with my students. It's like, hey, if we go to Kentucky, I want to go to KFC. I want to see what the chicken is like over there.
You gotta see. Is it what? Is Ken? Yeah, KFC it originated from Kentucky, right?
I'm gonna guess that. I'm gonna guess that.
Because you know how sometimes there's this weird thing where like there's a certain restaurant with a certain name, but it didn't originate from that name for some. I don't know. Moving on. Where will NAB be? Las Vegas Convention Center.
Las Vegas. Do you have to pay for each of the workshops, or was it kind of like a whole package deal?
You have to pay. I think, yeah, you have to pay for the workshops. I don't know because I don't pay for the workshops. But yeah.
All right. Unless there's any more commentary in the chat room, Jason, what are you going to be up to this coming week?
This weekend I'm shooting a wedding. Might have a portrait gig this Thursday. I'm crossing my fingers for it. Hopefully Motto won't cancel. I'm very excited for that. But what else is there? Yeah, wedding this weekend, editing this weekend. As for the YouTube channel, yeah, not too quite sure yet. Lots of things on my plate that I wanted to get out. But yeah, hopefully the portrait gig comes through on Thursday, and hope the wedding will go well this weekend. That's pretty much it for me.
On my end, everything's a blur. I don't know what's going on anymore. I think I might shoot track and field again on Saturday, maybe. I don't know. I think I have some baseball tomorrow. I wanted to try shooting with the 120 to 300 again with the MC11 adapter. I wanted to try it again to see how that would go. I know what the result's going to be, but I just want to try it again. But that's just me.
I think, yeah, I think, you know what? Here's a surprising thing that I found out is that a lot of people ended up buying the Ninja Flame.
What?
Well, not a lot of people, but like I think at least 3 or 4 people, which is, I don't know. To me, it's a lot. I was just like, why did you guys pick up the Ninja Flame? So a lot of people are picking up the Ninja Flame. People contacted me like, hey, I watched your video and I'm going to pick one up. I was like, what? So I might do like a first impression video because I'm not suited to do a full review yet, but I do want to make a first impressions video. I think like Steve is asking too. And a whole bunch of people are asking like, what would they need to get started with this monitor? And I think at least in the first impressions video, I want to put together a short guide as to like, what can you expect using this monitor, as well as, you know, what you would need just to get started, and what type of work, what kind of work would have to go into like grade and expose for the images. So yeah, that's something that I want to put together pretty soon.
No, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm interested in that monitor, and I think what you're doing is interesting. So you have your own angle and twist to it. I don't think there's been a lot of other YouTubers that have really mapped out that thing. So
I think it's just the thing is the monitor is a super overkill for YouTube videos. I just bought it because I have gas and.
I just get that lactose intolerant stuff, man. I just get gas that way. Gotta avoid the dairy.
We have a quick question from Dave Sincere. I guess it's towards me. How much research do you do before shooting a wedding? Do you map out locations or just go with what the bride and the groom want? David Osler says, I don't research now. I just wing it and look for the best light. So just for my peace of mind, I would usually, if the location is close enough to where I can actually drive out to go see, I would actually like plop out certain, like I would pick out certain spots in that location just to be like, okay, all right, this is a spot where I kind of want to shoot this. This is a spot that I want to shoot that. That way I don't like come in day of and, you know, bride and groom is late. Everything got pushed back. Only have 5 minutes for portraits. It's like, oh no, like where do we go? So it's just for my peace of mind that I know where to go, like have a location in mind already. So if I only have like 3 minutes to shoot something, at least I know which spot to go to. So that's just for my peace of mind. For sure.
That's some good advice. Don't take my advice, I guess. I just go for it. I was just like,
there are times where you're just going to have to go for it. You
have to. And I think with the experience that you build up after a while is what gives you that confidence. Mm-hmm. I know for me, when it comes to shooting things, recording things, that the experience gives you that toughness when it comes to a really challenging environment. You're like, crap, there's no lighting, or the lighting's really bad. And you just, for whatever reason, you've been through so many different scenarios, you just kind of find a way. And Dave said, screw it, just put the camera on auto.
Oh, I don't know. Me, I'm just like,
oh shoot.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just better. Like I'm a type of person that's just like, I'd rather have backup plans instead of just like trying to wing for it. Because if I try to wing it, everything just kind of goes to crap. And I think David just posted something funny.
Yeah.
I had a whole wedding party fall into the lake from a pier that collapsed. Oh, did you fall in too, Dave? Yeah, did you get the shot? Hey, he was shooting video. He can just grab a still mid-action.
Oh, man, David. What happened after? Now I got to know. What happened after?
Yeah, what happened? You got to let us know, man.
Did they, like, want to chop your head off or something? It was the whole wedding cast.
Oh, my God.
He didn't get a shot of it. Wow.
Dang. It's always when we have the cameras off. That's when the good stuff happens.
Folks, while we wind down and hear what David has to say, again, don't forget the live stream is going to jump over to Jason's channel next week, and it obviously will not have any issues at all. It's going to go buttery smooth, no problem at all, and I think we'll be we won't have these same issues.
It's okay. It's all right. We're just humans.
David says, it was terrible, but it was not my fault. The venue told them to go there.
Oh, thank goodness.
Woo.
Yeah, they can't really blame you.
Just wash your hands clean, Dave. You're good, man. Jason, I think that's gonna do it. I don't know if there's with the live stream.
Yeah, we've actually stuck on for another 45 minutes. So
cool. God.
Guys, just want to say thank you so much. We're terribly sorry for the technical difficulty. You know, we both have some issues on our hand, but we're so glad that you guys have the patience and stuck it out with us tonight. And that, you know, that just speaks volumes to me personally, that you guys are still here, still watching, and you forgive us for this whole shenanigan. But we live and learn, and we'll tell you all about it more in our review videos of these gear. You were part of a research experiment on these new gears that we have. So thank you for participating.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it, guys. Yeah. David said there's 100 people that fell in the water.
Oh my gosh. That must have been something. I mean, if I fell in the water with those 100 people, I wouldn't even be mad. I was like, man, that's how often does that happen?
Dave says here, are you guys gonna hang up and call each other and say goodnight?
Huh, I don't know.
We're already talking, right? So
funny thing, I've never called you, right? We never called you. This is our first phone call.
Yeah.
This is our first phone
call. We've never talked on the phone directly like this at all. I just shared my number with Jason. Now I'm worried now, so
I'm gonna call you every day. Daddy!
Michael, again, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support.
2.5 hours, man. David, bye, man.
Yeah, I hope we more than made up for the shenanigan that first 30 minutes. Yeah. But hey, we're gonna keep going strong, so for sure.
77 TikTok. You guys made it work. It's all good. You just look like teenagers having a late night 3-hour call, racking up the phone bill.
Thank goodness minutes don't count anymore. Just data.
That's basically it. Guys, thank you so much again. Again, next week we'll be on Jason's channel, 7 p.m. unless I'm late. So we'll see.
If you're late, I'll keep them busy.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys are awesome.